Hello, my name is Cameron Drake, and this is the audio analysis of reading curriculum at my school. The current reading curriculum at my school that I will be discussing is the Journeys Common Core Student Edition, Volumes 1 and 2 for Grade 3. The publisher of this is Houghton Mifflin Harcourt, and the publication date was December of 2012. As educators, we know how important reading is, but there is no part of the brain that specifically learns reading. There are many skills that you can learn to help you with reading, and I believe that this curriculum does a very good job of that. They cover vocabulary, fluency, text comprehension, phonological, and phonemic awareness. David Souza says that readers must usually possess a word in their mental dictionary in order to recognize it in print. Children learn the meanings of most words indirectly through everyday experiences with oral and written language. This is very important because when learning vocabulary, you have to expose the children to it. Day one, we strictly focus on vocabulary. Before we even read the story, we go over the vocabulary. I tell them the word, we read the definition, as well as how to use it in a sentence. Fluency, defined by David Souza, is the ability to read a text orally with speed, accuracy, and proper expression. Frequent practice in reading is one of the most main contributors to developing fluency. Now, this point right here is the most important thing they view in this curriculum. We read the story more than 5 times in the entire unit. Day 1, I read it to them as they follow along. Day 2, they read it in partners. Day 3, they read it silently. Day 4 and 5, we're reading it back at my table in small groups. And day 6 through 10, they're reading it to go answer questions that I have created for them or that are included in the book. Text comprehension is basically what you read is what you understand. This is also important because not only are there questions for the text, there are little readers, or what I call leveled readers. Based on what your reading skill is, you will be given a little reader to help you read the story in a way that you can understand it more. And with each story, there are questions that go along with it. Phonological and phonemic awareness is the recognition that oral language can be divided into smaller components, such as sentences into words, words into syllables, and ultimately syllables into individual sounds. This includes alliteration, rhyming, syllabication, and intonation. There are plenty of examples of this in our text. We also talk about the meanings of words and how we can use context clues to help us learn the words and define them. Like I said, my background with this, I've been working with it for the past year. It has 30 stories in between the 2 textbooks. Each story comes with vocabulary, an essential question, questions to be answered, leveled readers, and it even has grammar. Wow, and that's in a totally separate book. Now, how the reading program is used based on the knowledge of brain regions and specialization, the brain is broken into 2 parts, the left and right hemisphere. Now, the left, that focuses on analysis, sequence, speech, and it recognizes the words, letters, and numbers that are being read. The right does patterns, context of language, and gathers information from images and from words. So this is, again, looking at pictures and other words to help you define what is being read. That's how the brain would work with this. Now, the major findings that I found that were really important, this is from Roscoe and Newman in the story Common Core, Commonplace, and Community in Teaching Reading. It says, the Common Core is not a curriculum. It is a set of standards around curriculum, aka reading programs, can be built. Now, this is super important. I find this very interesting. It's saying that there are standards, but there's many ways to reach those standards. I think this text does a phenomenal job of that because it helps the students get to the standard, but with many different activities along the way. And finally, this quote I really like too. This is from Abudib, Gentile, and Zawolinsky. It is, the premise that students must read text of increasingly complexity is what many teachers rely on for designing reading instruction that seeks to meet students' needs. Take them from where they are and support them into grade level proficiency. This refutes the notion that there is a one-size-fits-all approach to reading instruction. This is really important. This curriculum breaks down all of the reading, so there are levels that children can meet.